Welcome to the latest episode of Something from the Margin of My Bible. This note comes from the New Testament book of 1 Peter. And in the opening section of 1 Peter chapter 5, which is the chapter we'll be in, Peter, as a fellow elder, he says that in verse 1, is exhorting, encouraging elders in the Lord's church. And he will do that for the first few verses of this chapter. But as this paragraph closes in 1 Peter 5 and verse 5, he's going to give a quotation. And I have a note about one of the words in that quotation that really adds even more strength to the argument that Peter is making. Verse 5 of 1 Peter chapter 5, Peter writes this, "Likewise, you who are younger, be subject to the elders. Clothe yourselves, all of you, with humility toward one another. For," and here's the quotation, "God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble." Now, a lot of us can quote that last part, but the note has to do with the word opposes. Again, the quotation in chapter 5 and verse 5 is, "God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble." And here's the note I've boxed in the word opposes, and in the margin I've written these words, military term. But then, then I also have a notation of the two parts, the two Greek roots to this particular word. And I don't speak Greek, so if I mispronounce these, I'm sorry for those of you who do. But I have the note that the first part of the word is anti, which means opposite. And the second part of the word is tasso, T-A-S-S-O, which means arrange. So it is to arrange in opposition to something. But again, it was used often in a military sense, where a military unit would arrange itself opposite from that which it was getting ready to fight. So again, in the quotation of 1 Peter 5:5, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. I've boxed in the word opposes. In the margin I've written, this is the full note. Military term, anti, opposite, tasso, arrange. Now, you can expand that note all you want to, or you may not want to use it at all, but hopefully that encourages us to understand the depth of meaning behind that somewhat simple word opposes, but found with such strength in this particular verse. We hope that encourages your Bible study. We'll see you again next week with something else from the margin of my Bible. Make sure you're subscribing to the podcast, and thank you for listening.